Staub 4-Quart, the cast iron. Did we all universally see they were almost $400 everywhere?
Yeah.
They're premium. The French, when we talk about Staub, like people say it's like a dream piece that they always wanted, or maybe your grandmother wanted, or your sister always talks about it, because they are high luxury when we're talking about searing, the stewing, the slow cooking, any of that. So let's say I'm gonna give it $370 out in the market. Even when we had it $330, Carrie, that was a steal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at the price on your screen.
Yes.
The fact that it starts with a 1 is about to catch on fire. You're able to do this $180 off, which was our deal. We're doing this on a flex pay for $50 to get it home, and it is literally for this one presentation only. We have got incredible colors. Carrie's gonna go through these with us, and then we're gonna talk more about the actual piece. But they kind of are broken into 2 different options, right?
Yes, and it'll start, if you don't mind, that'll start over here. So the majolic, which is actually gonna give you, so these all have 3 layers that comprise them. So it starts off with the cast iron, then there's a layer of glass, and then there's a layer of pigment. The majolic has an extra layer of pigment, so it actually gives it kind of this depth of a feeling. So these 3 are the majolics. That would be your gray, your graphite, your dark blue, and your grenadine, which is what I have at home.
That's beautiful.
This one has been just the light of my life. I really love it. So those are the majolic is usually more money, by the way.
By the way, less than 100 here, less than 100 here.
Not surprised. Okay, so then we move down. Now, not to be confused with the fact, because then you say, oh, majolic has this extra enamel. These are still beautiful. These are still the Staub way of making it, you know, absolutely high quality. But these are going to give you your, what they call matte colors, even though you can see that they do have a shine. This is our cherry. This is our citron, which is definitely like the color of the year. Lilac, which is a new one for us.
Unique.
The citron and lilac are new. Our matte black, which has a brass top, which is quite beautiful, and then our white. We also have white truffle, which we don't have it here on the table. So if you do look online, white truffle is gorgeous.
By the way, these are the 2 most limited in this option here.
I can see
please go look online.
Yeah.
If you have been, your sister's been talking your ear off about Staub and how she's always wanted one and this and that, do it on the $50. I am literally telling you, Carrie's gonna do this one presentation and it will not be this price again. Like, this is unbelievable.
This is unbelievable. So let's tell you a little bit about Staub and what is a cocotte. I think a lot of times people say, what does that mean? A cocotte is really just our word and our way of saying a Dutch oven. So a Dutch oven is always really well known for its properties of its cast iron and its ability to retain heat and radiate heat into the food and keep the heat inside. It's kind of like considered like a small oven within your oven, because you can also use this in the oven. So it's not just stovetop, but what happens is it takes cuts of meat and it makes them super tender. It makes them super delicious. We're going to talk about the lid here in just a moment too and what that enables. But this, I want to show you what 4 quarts can really do, because I think a lot of times when we're looking at sizes, there are lots of different sizes on the marketplace. I am making these humongous pulled pork sandwiches. We also made a pulled pork bowl, and we also did pulled pork tacos. Can you come back and see how much is still in my pot?
There, yeah.
4 quarts, I say, is like the best size ever. It's really like that Goldilocks size, because it's really gonna feed a family when you need it, but it also can do those smaller meals and smaller things when you need it as well. It is the busiest pot in the kitchen, the Cocotte, because this really can sear, it can braise, it can saute, it can boil the water for the pasta. I mean, it can do everything. Yeah. And what's really great about us is that lid. So actually, let's see if it's on this lid, because this one's nice and hot. I like to always, a little bit. Okay, so what's great about this too, not all Dutch ovens have what you're seeing here, like these little divots. And what those are, it's our self-braising lid. And if you notice that moisture that's there, when you're cooking this meat, what is making this meat absolutely irresistible and delicious is the fact that all of the juices, when you're cooking, condensation happens. If you had no lid on it, it would just go up into the air. But the condensation's going into the lid, it goes into these divots. Those divots then dip it back into the food. So all the flavor, all the nuances, everything is not disappearing, it's going right back into it and infusing back into it. So that is why Dutch ovens are so like just loved by distinguished chefs, but they're also loved by amateur cooks because it can take your cuts of meat that may not be the best cuts of meat and make them delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is what I'm gonna say. I found this out in the market at about $3.70. We will have this after this presentation at $3.30. It's already down to $149.99. I'm gonna get an additional $20 off of this. When you go to checkout, if you are using your HSN credit card, literally this is only this price for this presentation, and this code is only gonna be used until midnight. Put in 257234. You only have to make a $99 qualifier to get that $20 off. This gets that qualifier. It is now down to $129.99.
Wow, that's crazy.
For something that out in the marketplace is almost $400 everywhere. And listen, you're gonna go and you're gonna go, no, this is kind of close to that price. And you're gonna go, one, it's not the brand, or number two, it's a very smaller version of this. 4-quart, and this is the real deal, the one that everybody talks about, the one that everybody is like, I wish I had it. You know, I'll put it on my wedding registry and hope that everybody, you know, gets together and puts in money to get it for me.
Absolutely.
You get it today, $50 off and running to you, your recipient. If this is a gift, it still falls under the extended holiday returns, which means you can hold on to this at this price until the end of January and then decide if you would like to have this. I guarantee if somebody sold you something for $400, they're not gonna let you hang out with it until the end of January.
Absolutely. And you know what's great about this is getting it home and being able to cook in it, because the moment you start cooking in this, you're gonna recognize the difference. If you've been cooking in like stainless steel, for example, like I did a test last night and I had my stainless steel pot and I also use this pot side by side, same amount of water. This boiled so much, like half the amount of time, because of the fact that it gathers heat. Okay, so this is a one-pot meal, and I'm sorry, but Italians across the world are going to go, blasphemy. I put everything in one pot. So you notice I put water, sauce, I put the pasta in there. I did we could do a little bit for flavor, a little bit of wine. But basically, this can take about 15 to 20 minutes, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, let me make sure my lid's not too hot. This lid will get hot, guys, so do make sure that you use something for it, like this, because again, it is completely cast iron. So what happens is the heat, again, gathers, goes into that food, stays inside. You notice that it's a very tight-fitting lid as well. That's super important. We're really well known for our nice fit and finish. Staub is up there. This is the best of the best, okay? There's only one other company that rivals us. And the thing is, we do a few things differently that I think make us even better. And that is one of those things, very tight-fitting lid. The fact that we do those divots that we were talking about in the self-raising lid, that's something we do that others don't do. Also, I love, and here we can do like a chili, really speaks to the flavor. Just again, keeping your soups and stews and making them, I say, taste like second day stews on the first day. And with cast iron generally, if you didn't have like our matte black finish that we have in here, it is an enameled finish. What enameled means is that you don't have to season this. A lot of cast iron, you would have to season if it wasn't enameled. You also don't have to worry about leaching of flavors or anything like that. In cast iron, people will go, if you did a chili, because if you did anything that was, you know, that had citrus or that had tomato sauce, that would be like, oh my gosh, you just ruined your cast iron. With this, that is not the case, and that's what I really, really love about it.
Now, I will tell you, if you loved that grenadine color that you were taught, you said this is the one you have?
That's the one I have,
75 now left. So we started out with 100 of these at the very beginning of the presentation. I'm now down to 75. So if this is the color that you want, this is the color that your mom would love, your auntie would love, your niece would love, your dad would love, great grandpa would love this, they're gonna see the name on this and assume you paid almost $400 for that gift. They will Google it and they'll go, I only got them a $20 gift. And they're gonna go, man, I owe her a night out, a dinner, something, because the name will literally give them that kind of wow factor. You can do $50 right now and already secure yours. Multiple different kind of like feels, like we were saying, the finishes, whether it's the matte.
Yeah, the majolic
Yep.
versus the matte. A couple other really important things. These are made with sand molds, and what that means is that each time a pot is made, that sand mold is destroyed.
Okay.
So each one of these pots are unique, and each one of these pots are special.
Yeah.
And again, that's what raises the price, right? When things are really special, but these are not factory just shot out the door type things. Another thing to really know that I want to make sure we take the time to talk about, you're going to get this beautiful book that talks about Staub and talks about how we started out of Alsace, France in 1974. But what's also important too, let's get the bottom here for you. Notice how the bottom of this, it kind of looks almost like gritty. It's not like super, like sometimes when you look at something that's enameled, it's really smooth. These are little hills and valleys, and what these hills and valleys do is it collects the juices and it collects the fats so that you get a perfect brown and sear. So it's keeping, because the juices and fats will keep you from searing. So the searing capability in this is through the roof. So when you're doing your turkey breasts, when you're doing your pot roast, when you're doing, we have some short ribs down here, you need to braise them and sear them first and then put them through the rest of the process. A lot of times people get really overwhelmed with those sort of jobs in the kitchen. I'm telling you, chefs will tell you this all the time, and as I'm becoming a chef and as I'm studying, it's the tools that make the difference. When you have the right tools, things that seemed hard before become easy. What you're seeing there is what we were talking about those divots and the spikes and how it works. It creates an oven in your oven or on the stovetop. So what's happening inside of that is kept apart from anything that's happening outside of the pot itself. So when you're getting these outrageous braises and these outrageous brownings and searings on your food, it makes it easy because you're not having to struggle with a pot or a pan that just doesn't quite do the job right. This is high quality, this is the best of the best. And as she was saying, if you really want to wow someone, you're getting it for the $149. They will think you spent the $370.
Because this is what will happen. This is this price. Literally right now, that's it. I know what this is gonna be after this presentation, and it will jump back up over $300. So I am literally telling you, they will never be able to come back in time and figure out you paid $149, because it will not be $149 at any other time, at any other place. It will be over $300, almost $400. And the fact that we have so many different finishes and colors that will be very unique and very special, when I tell you this is on fire, Carrie, right now. The people that are getting their dream piece today for $50, I'm so happy.
Well, this is a way to start your collection, and like I said before, this is the Goldilocks piece, so this is really going to give you that perfect size to get you started. If you look at like my hand in here, I feel like, you know, you've got these beautiful handles that say Staub on the side. On the top, it actually says Staub La Cocotte. I mean, that's just, it's so beautiful. You will love cooking in this. If you're gifting this, the person who gets this is going to be so wowed. But again, it's that quality. It's being able to, here we did a full turkey breast, and we did all of our roasted vegetables inside. I seared the turkey breast first, and then we placed it in the oven to finish the cook.
Really quick, the one you're using right now is about to sell out.
This is the grenadine.
So this one is on last call. If you want this, and this is the one that your heart is set on, and I know how you feel, please put it in your cart and check out, because it's about to sell out. And I know what you're going, you're like, Tina, is this like Schrobe? Is this like a off-brand of the one that we all talk? This is the literal brand that everybody talks about, that people dream about, that you've always wanted. You're like, honey, 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 can we spend the $400? Get it now. When I say this is one of the biggest opportunity buys in the culinary world right now, you are literally watching at the exact moment to make it happen.
If you are a bread baker, by the way, this is like, most recipes for bread call for a 4-quart. So this is it. This is the one that's gonna help you, and the way that your breads will crisp, unlike anything else, you will be wowed. So this is the perfect time of year for it. We're making breads, we're doing all the stews, we're doing all the warm, comfy, cozy, foods. This is what you need to get that accomplished.
And we all learned how to say it. Cocotte.
Cocotte.
Now you'll know. Now you sound fancy. I'm going to give you a moment to secure yours, give you a break. We have a whole other hour in the Savor finale. We'll be back.